Hi, here's a video about Antonov AN-26s. The picture that I'm using from Teesside Airport Movements, who gratefully allow me to use their website, was taken by a guy named Dave Rose. Good guy. I'd also like to thank Monty Brack for his House of Commons reply over chemtrails, which is included in the video, and also Debbie Pilkington for a 2016 chemtrail video, chemtrail letter also, both from Department for Transport. Anyway, on with the video. Thank you. Right, chemtrails. I'd like to introduce you to this webpage. It is www.parliament.uk. It's dated, this actual item is dated 2009-2010. They are copyright 2010. It does have dates on it and whatever. You can browse the report together with the proceedings of the committee. The published report was ordered by the House of Commons to be printed 10th of March 2010. And the summary, I'm not going through all this lot, I mean look at that. It's all about geoengineering that doesn't exist, right? Keep this in mind, this is 2010, 2009, 2010. It's got US, UK, Geoengineering, it's got quite a lot on it if you want to go to it. Right, the page for this one is https:// publications.parliament.uk/Papa Alpha as in PA /CM, and it's got 200910 /CM select /CMSC tech /221 /22102 point dot whatever HTM. So that's that one. Let's go to the summary page. Right, I'm sure you can get there yourself off all that garbage. Right, let's have a read. Summary: the regulation of geoengineering, Science and Technology Committee contents. I've had to enlarge this because it only comes on half the screen. Right, summary. Geoengineering describes activities specifically and deliberately designed to effect a change in the global climate with the aim of minimising or reversing anthropogenic, that is human-caused, climate change. Geoengineering covers many techniques and technologies but splits into two broad categories: those that remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, considering it's only about 0.4%, such as sequestering and locking carbon dioxide in geological formations, and those that reflect solar radiation, which is good if you've got solar panels, isn't it? You know, they get you to get solar panels and then block out the sun. Techniques in this category include the injection of sulfate aerosols into the stratosphere to mimic the cooling effect caused by large volcanic eruptions. Well, they have volcano activating machines. I mean, why don't they just do that? Oh, they are doing so. The technologies and techniques vary so much that any regulatory framework for geoengineering cannot be uniform. Instead, those techniques, particularly carbon removal, carbon, that are closely related to familiar existing technologies, could be regulated by developing the international regulation of the existing regimes to encompass geoengineering. For the technologies, especially solar reflection, new regulatory arrangements will have to be developed. There are three reasons why we believe regulation is needed. First, in the future some geoengineering techniques may allow a single country unilaterally to affect the climate. China! Second, some, albeit very small scale, geoengineering testing is already underway. There's an admission. Geoengineering testing is already underway. Third, we may need geoengineering as a plan B if in the event of a failure of plan A, the reduction of greenhouse gases, we are faced with highly disruptive climate change. If we start work now, it will provide the opportunity to explore fully the technological, environmental, political and regulatory issues. We are not calling for an international treaty, but the groundwork for regulatory arrangements to begin. So they're asking for it straight away, 2010. Geoengineering techniques should be graded with consideration to factors such as transboundary effect. You know, chemtrails are all above my head. Anyway, the dispersal of potentially hazardous materials in the environment and the direct effect on ecosystems. The regulatory regimes for geoengineering should then be tailored accordingly. The controls should be based on a set of principles that command widespread agreement. For example, the disclosure of geoengineering research and open publication of results, and the development of governance arrangements for the deployment of geoengineering techniques. Notice there it says, for example, the disclosure of geoengineering research. Yes, they deny it, even now. The UN is the route by which eventually we envisage the regulatory framework operating, but first the UK and other governments need to push geoengineering up the international agenda and get processes moving. Says it all really, doesn't it? This is just a summary, like I say. We'll finish off the last paragraph. This inquiry was innovative in that we worked collaboratively. I wish they'd stop this, but it's catching me out. Collaboratively with the US House of Representatives Science and Technology Committee, the first international joint working of this kind for a House of Commons Select Committee. We found the experience constructive and rewarding and, we hope, successful. We are enthusiastic supporters of collaborative working between national legislators. Sorry, I've got dry throat. On topics such as geoengineering and with international reach. Our report covering the regulation of geoengineering will now dovetail into a wider inquiry that the House of Representatives Committee is carrying out on geoengineering. Science, technology and engineering are key to solving global challenges, and we commend our successor committee international collaboration as an innovative way to meet these challenges. That's that. Like I say, you can read it yourself. Just copy the link from the top if you can. So back in 2016, the wife Debbie wrote to 10 Downing Street asking about chemtrails, just basically saying what are these lines above her head. And this is the reply she got, dated 29th of September 2016. And it's their reference 177187, and it's come from the Department for Transport, so obviously it was passed on. Right, I'll enlarge it a bit more, 1 second. Chemical trails. Thank you for your letter of 22nd of September to the Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, DEFRA, Inquiries Team, which was forwarded to the Department for Transport. I am responding from the Department for Transport's Aviation Directorate, which administers aviation policy. The government receives a large amount of correspondence from people witnessing chemtrails in sky-ups, aerial spraying from aircraft in brackets, above the UK, or claiming that they pollute our skies, impact on climate and even lead to serious health impacts. I don't know if I'm reading that right, but there you go. Letters on this topic have been received by the Department for Transport for a number of years, and because of the widespread claims on the internet, the volume of letters has increased considerably in recent times. So has the volume of aircraft. Now, I've highlighted this part. This is the actual page that is showing the videos. There is, however, no credible evidence of the release of any matter or aerosol being ejected or sprayed from aircraft in the UK, other than the normal aircraft exhaust products. Bear in mind this is 2016, the Parliament letter was 2010, saying that it must be done immediately. But nothing on this one. As a result of the large amount of correspondence received on this topic, the department has put together answers to commonly asked questions on the matter that I have included with my response. I hope you have found this response helpful. Yours sincerely, signed Claudette Bagalaw. Now, the thing is, the attachment that came with it was all about chemtrails, vapour trails. I haven't kept it. It's 2016, I'm not going to go looking for it, but I just thought I'd bring you that one first, as far as letters are concerned. Well, in 2022, a friend wrote to our MP, Peter Gibson MP at the House of Commons. It's addressed to Monty Brack. Case reference Papa Echo 23714. Dated Friday 19th of August 2022. So bring it up for you. Dear Monty, thank you for your email about chemtrails, defined as aerial spraying from aircraft. I can reassure you that the Department for Transport is not aware of any other matter or aerosol being ejected from aircraft, other than normal exhaust products. That sounds familiar. Aircraft can be observed sometimes leaving trails in the air known as contrails. Yes, they can. However, these are simply the warm, moist exhaust from the aircraft mixing with the cold, drier ambient air, thus producing ice crystal clouds. Bear in mind this is 2022. I am aware that some other countries have on occasions used weather modification techniques such as cloud seeding, which causes precipitation by introducing substances into the cumulus clouds that cause condensation. However, these techniques are generally aimed at promoting rainfall. What's chemtrails? And should not be considered geoengineering. Projects used for the purpose of trying to minimise the human impacts on climate change. The UK does not use cloud seeding or deploy geoengineering. Bullshit! Once again, thank you for taking the time to contact me. If I can ever be further of assistance, then please don't hesitate to contact me again. Blah blah blah, usual routine on end. Peter Gibson MP. What a load of... Anyway. Which brings us up to today. Now, this is a page I've saved. It's also included with the House of Commons letter in the links on my YouTube videos. I'll just go to that quickly. Number one is the, if you look down here, number one is the Parliament, that's the Geo-Engineering one I read out from 2010. And now on with this one, which is the gov.uk page. Right, I'm not going to read all the way through it. I asked about chemtrails and whatever, and it took me to this one. It's a gov.uk policy paper on geoengineering, the government's view, published 27th of February 2013 and last updated May 4th 2020. Now it's got links to a couple of documents. UK government's view on greenhouse gas removal technologies and solar radiation management. That's blocking out the sun, which is good for your solar panels, of course. And UK government's view on greenhouse gas removal technologies and solar radiation management again. Details this statement sets out the government's view on research, development, deployment and regulation of geoengineering. Same title as 2010, Regulation of Geoengineering. While acknowledging the priority is to tackle the root cause of climate change by reducing emissions of greenhouse gases and adapting to those impacts that are unavoidable. Now, you can link on them yourself. That's good. Like I said, that's gov.uk. I'm sure you can find your way around off that. Home, environment, climate change and energy and climate change, evidence and analysis. That's up to date. That's now. So first off, it's saying do it. Then there's a letter from 2016 saying don't do it, we don't do it. And then a letter from 2022, we don't do it. And then the current government web page, last update 2020, I'll give it that. But it's saying that they are doing it. Mad. So from the evidence, that covers the two letters and the two official government web pages. That's options 1 and 2. I'll get to the others shortly. Right, over to Teesside Airport movements. That particular photo shows two Ukrainian, I think the Ukrainian aircraft. So here's the Teesside Airport movements. It's just a picture. It's got 2 aircraft on it belonging to Vulcan. Is that ATR? I think it is. Vulcan ATR. Yeah, I forgot it's a photograph. There you go. Alright, the registration's Uniform Romeo Dash Charlie Quebec Delta and Uniform Romeo Dash Charlie Quebec Victor. Now these 2 aircraft are Antonovs. They're Antonov AN-26Bs. If we just go by that first one there. That's not the first one, is it? There's quite a few versions on this one. This is on Wikipedia apparently. It covers the Antonovs. Right, let's just pick this one for the time being, shall we? Antonov AN-26 Bravo Cyclone, I'm guessing, I don't know. Right, Cyclone, a weather research, control and cloud seeding aircraft for the Central Aerological Laboratory. This aircraft was used for rain induction and protection using cloud seeding chemicals dropped from slab-sided pods hung from pylons. So I picked up another one of these Antonovs, the Antonov AN-26P. I'm not even going to try that. Firefighting. Aircraft firebomber, retrofitted with water tanks in pods on either side of the lower fuselage, which could be substituted for dispensers for silver iodide flares for rainmaking. At least 5 converted. Right, so here we have, I picked on the link for weather modification, which came from the Antonov 26 Vita. Right, this is Wikipedia still. Weather modification is the act of intentionally manipulating or altering the weather. The most common form of weather modification is cloud seeding, which increases rain or snow, usually for the purpose of increasing the local water supply. Weather modification can also have a goal of, I'm not going into the link. So just to prove to you that this stuff is actually going on. Then we've got a description here as well. Cloud seeding is a type of weather modification that aims to change the amount or type of precipitation that falls from clouds by dispersing substances into the air that serve as cloud condensation or ice nuclei, which alter the microphysical processes within the cloud. And I am not going further on that one. Saved another page. This is the one about cloud seeding. Sorry I've highlighted it, but it's just to get my bearings, and well, I'll read it out from here. That one shows a Cessna 210 equipped with a silver iodide generator for cloud seeding. So that's a prop plane. I usually look out for airliners, but yeah, prop planes as well. I mean, they do crop spraying, don't they? Word of crop. Right, further information on cloud seeding. The crystalline structure of that is similar to that of ice, allowing it to induce freezing by the process known as heterogeneous or whichever nucleation. Approximately 50,000 kilograms are used for cloud seeding annually, each seeding experiment consuming 10 to 50 grams. See also Project Stone Fury and Operation Popeye. Safety. Extreme exposure can lead to argyria, I don't know, characterised by localised discoloration of body tissue. But they're harmless and they're not doing this. I mean, that's, where do you go from there? Number 3, chemtrailtrackerapp.com. If you go to that website, You can upload your videos and your photos, and to be honest, I'd love to, I really would, but I never get a chance because by the time I process anything it's way out of date and nobody's going to look back, I wouldn't have thought. And you've got gallery on there from all over the world, people posting about geoengineering. There's Brighton, a lot of people, Stockport, Surrey, King's Cross, London. A few from there, Wiltshire. See, it's a good website, this one. It's a brilliant website from what I can tell. And there's a lot of evidence on there showing the frequencies as well. So that is link number 3 in the video descriptions. Link number 4 is Geo-Engineering.com. Geo-Engineering.com. Have you noticed all the aircraft emissions polluting the sky? Well, it's cloud seeding, it's got links to them. This is basically the website for that. A ball, we don't live on a bloody ball. It's just basically showing you what's going on. It's got quite a lot of information on it. So I'll skip that now. Like I said, these are links in the video descriptions. I'm sorry I've got a dry throat, I've had flu for a couple of weeks. So we're just getting over that. Or virtually over it. Now, next, link number 5, UK Skywatch. There was another link but it had vanished, so I've had to take it out. UK Skywatch, campaigning to ban climate engineering. And there you go, videos, articles and videos, 2014. I don't know when this was last updated actually, but seems to be a lot of old stuff on it. Either way, it's a link to answers. Now going from there, I put number 6, The Dimming. It's a film by Dane Wigington of Geo-Engineeringwatch.org. Now I don't subscribe to all Dane's views on the climate. I think the spraying is actually causing more harm than good, but you make your own mind up. Number 7 is a film by Landman from 2017 called FrankenSkies. Now I fully recommend both of those. The only trouble is it can be upsetting actually. I found it quite upsetting to watch them. So, and that's one of my recent videos uploaded. I've got another one that's had to be split because it was 1.88 gigabytes. So that's the next one to be done. But I just thought I'd bring those to you and prove to you that yes, they do in fact cloud seed. They do it over here. They deny it over here. And that's how it stands. You can't get a straight answer out of them. They'll deny it, but I think it's above their pay grade. To be honest, that's why the MPs are talking modern nonsense. Department for Transport seem to know bugger all. Right, I'd like to say that as regards pilots, I think you're highly talented. You know a lot of stuff. You're amazing in that respect. You do a job I could never do. There's so many things that let me down on that. But I'd also like to point out a few little aspects. I put in the video description that if you can't see these chemtrails, then I don't want to get on your plane. But also the fact, well, we don't want blind pilots, do we? But there's also the fact that I know damn well that you're not allowed to speak about them. Some of you may, some of you won't. There's also the fact that the injuries, a lot of pilots are actually injured and don't know it from the mRNA injections. There's been a lot of deaths, a lot of collapses and whatever on flights. So on that aspect I wouldn't like to catch a plane that has a pilot that's had the injections. Now there's one more point to keep in mind. That for you pilots that are knowingly spraying the crap out of us, just think, while you're spraying us, someone is spraying your home and your family too with these deadly chemicals. So if you're happy with that, you go ahead, by all means. You kill as many people as you want because you're quite happy with it, but somebody's doing it to you. Anyway, just thought I'd bring that to you. They're just some views, and thanks for watching the video. All the very best. I'd like to add that a lady pilot from KLM came forward because she had it pointed out to her about the gyroscopes and the fact that the horizon's flat and she don't have to keep correcting for the curve of the Earth. Now, she realised it took her 20 years. She never realised what was going on until it was pointed out to her. But there are actually 81, like it says on here, 81 government and affiliated documents that admit flat Earth. Now, if you care to take a look at flight manuals a bit harder, some of you may have noticed, but it might not have registered. The actual, as regards the flight manuals, it says to consider the Earth as flat, stationary and immovable for the sake of learning to fly. Now, that's exactly what it says in Genesis, actually, that it's flat, stationary and movable. And as I say, the KLM lass, she's admitted it. She says yes, it's flat. Now, I could do with a few more of you guys coming out and saying it or proving it, only because you believe it, of course, because you've read the manuals and you've seen the gyroscopes and what have you in your cockpit. But the reason I mention it is because this was, say we lived on a globe, a spinning ball, wet spinning ball hurtling through the vastness of sod all, dragging round a rock and following a fireball. Well, basically it's not true. So it's actually the first instance, I'd say, where the satanic rulers, the deep state, whatever you want to call them, are destroying creation itself. They're going directly against what's written about creation. Now, they're also doing that by changing our DNA with these injections, but I can't go into that, especially, well, I can't upload to YouTube on this video if I do say that. But the injections, they change DNA, and changing DNA is also another attack on creation itself. By spraying chemtrails everywhere, the stuff you're dropping, which is a carcinogen, they're all carcinogens. The three main ones are strontium, barium and aluminium oxide, I think it is. I watched a video by anonymous official yesterday. There's a whistleblower on it, and he was explaining, yes, you can add anything you want to that nanotech. You can add, there was talk about aerosolizing the mRNA injections to drop on everybody, but all this stuff, all this poison that's being dropped, it's not only getting us, it's getting our food, it's getting in our water, the grass, our pets, everything is being hit by it. And as I said earlier, you guys that are spraying this, somebody's spraying your home and your family while you're doing us. But for the sake of the flat plane, this PDF is available. I don't know if I can provide a link because I can't remember the website, but it does exist, and this is just to prove it to you. It's a PDF document with links to each report, each document, official government document that mentions it. Anyway, if you We could do with more whistleblowers. That's the only way we're going to stop all this crap. It's the only way we're going to stop everything that's going on. Because our governments are traitors. They're all traitors. The war criminals, the traitors. They're all guilty of mass genocide, and they need bringing down. That's all there is to it. Keeping quiet, I know that they'll say they'll come after you, but if everybody speaks out about what they know, then they can't get rid of everybody. I know they're trying to with all this lot, spraying us and injections and whatever. Genetic experiments, I should call them. But you know, it needs to stop, and the only way it'll do it is by you people in the know coming out and telling the truth. I mean, nobody wants to listen when I show the videos and whatever. Nobody wants to listen half the time when anybody does. But when it's somebody who actually knows the job inside out and comes forward, then it has a lot of oomph behind it, you know. Right, back on with the show, or right to the end, whichever place it ends up now. Thank you for watching, and catch you again. Cheers, bye.